Welcome to Fee 304, Study Session 8, Technology and its Impact on the Environment. Introduction. In this study session, we will discuss the impact of technology on the environment. We will also draw attention to the positive and negative aspects of technology. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this session, you should be able to discuss air pollution as an impact of technology on the environment. Explain the impact of emission of carbon dioxide as an impact of technology on the environment. Discuss the effect of global warming on the environment. Highlight the positive and negative aspects of technology. Air pollution as an impact of technology on the environment. The impacts of technologies on our environment are obvious and witnessed by everyone. In fact, environmental issues are the biggest challenge facing our planet Earth today. Depleting ozone layer, global warming, reduction of vegetation, extinction of animals, climate change, and so on. These problems are largely associated with technological advancement in industries and establishment of power plants. Let us take examples from coal combustion and conversion technology to illustrate this point. Coal is an energy source whose preparation goes through several gaseous industrial processes. It is formed by the composition of the remains of plants in swamps or rivers, deltas, and consists of two stages of formation, biochemical and geochemical. Coal contains elements such as carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur. Experts have predicted that the large reserves of coal worldwide ensures that coal will remain crucially important energy source in the forthcoming era of energy shortage, for example, crude oil and natural gas, the energy sources upon which the present economic growth of the industrial world depends. The preparation of coal involves the removal of its elements. In the process, this element results in pollutant, that is particulate matter, sulfur, nitrogen oxides, carbon dioxide, and so on, which affect human health, ecology, global climate, and leads to haze and smog, among others. For example, Merrick states that the gases produced as a result of coal combustion contain particulate material, some of which is carried into the atmosphere with the flue gases. This particulate emission results in respiratory diseases, urban smog that increases mortality. The London smog of 1952, for example, has been estimated to have caused 4,000 additional deaths. Emission of carbon dioxide and global warming. Another very important element in coal technology is carbon dioxide, the fifth most abundant gas in the atmosphere after nitrogen, oxygen, water vapor, and argon, and which plays important roles in life processes. Usually, carbon dioxide is not regarded as a pollutant, but its increased concentration in the atmosphere is reputed as a cause of climate change and global warming. According to Merrick, reliable measurements show that carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere was 315 ppm by volume in 1958, 338 ppm in 1980, an average increase of 0.3% or 1 ppm per annum. For comparison, it has been estimated that the carbon dioxide concentration at the beginning of the industrial revolution was 290 ppm. How does carbon dioxide cause global warming? Global warming can be easily understood given our discourse from the foregoing paragraph as an increase in the average temperature of the earth as a result of natural calamities such as volcanic eruptions, movement in the tectonic plates, exploding of sunspots, and so on, and man-made activities such as deforestation, power plant installations, burning of fossil fuels, generation of poisonous gases, and so on. Global warming is not an emerging environmental issue associated with technology. Its consequences are already being felt. The melting of glaciers, rising of the sea levels, disintegration of wildlife, drying up of forests, increasing rainfall, and so on. Rajiv Zinga properly highlights this effect in his assertion that global warming A. is causing changes in the climate which are too rapid for some living things to adapt to. B. is causing Earth's ice sheets to melt, thus increasing the sea level. C. is causing weather to become extreme, characterized by the development of major storms, longer spells of drought, more rain than required, and alterations in the life-supporting ranges for the survival of plants and animals. D. it may or is causing heavy precipitation even in places which stop receiving heavy rainfall. E. also causes water bodies to absorb heat more than usual. This is because with the glaciers melting down, heat is reflected in low amount and absorbed in high amount by sea and oceans, thus further increasing the temperature. The constant day-to-day variations in climate and its consequent effect raise fear as to what will become of our world a couple of decades from now, and what will be the fate of future generations. In order to properly understand how carbon dioxide causes global warming, scientists came up with the greenhouse effect theory. A greenhouse is a building where plants are grown under a controlled environment. Control in the sense that the building is rooted with different but transparent materials like plastic or glass. With this, the building allows solar radiation to be absorbed by the plants by letting it in, but it disallows the heat generating from getting out or escaping. Water vapor, methane, nitrous oxide, ozone, and carbon dioxide are the main greenhouse gases in the Earth's atmosphere. What these gases do is they form a kind of wall over the atmosphere, which although lets the solar radiation to enter, but keeps some of the heat that is radiated back from, similar to what is done by a greenhouse. Thus, these greenhouse gases are seen as the immediate causes of global warming, since by their activities the heat that is to be radiated back is trapped and results in the increase of atmospheric temperature. However, carbon dioxide is considered the worst culprit because its emission and concentration rates in the atmosphere are higher than those of other gases. These higher emission rates result from combustion of coal and fossil fuels in factories, vehicles, homes, and in electricity generation, the burning of bush and forests, and so on. Therefore, the trapped heat that results from the other gases is relatively small compared to carbon dioxide, given its increased number of emitting sources in the world. As we have seen, the impact of technology on nature is troubling and its effect cannot be overemphasized. In fact, some scientists have predicted that some cities of the world will be submerged by water 100 years from now as a result of global warming, Lagos inclusive. This problem generates issues of ethical reflections both in the ethics of technology and in environmental ethics, in particular relation with responsibility. Governments and people of the world must take responsibility for their actions and inactions and stop paying lip service to efforts of combating global warming, especially in the area of reduction of carbon dioxide emission into the atmosphere. Effect of global warming on the environment. 1. Rapid changes in the climate, which is detriment to the existence of some living things. 2. Melting of Earth's ice sheets, thereby leading to rise in sea level. 3. Extremely harsh weather condition characterized by the development of major storms, longer spells of drought, excessive rainfall, and alterations in the life-supporting ranges for the survival of plants and animals. 4. Heavy precipitation even in places which stopped receiving heavy rainfall. 5. Water bodies' absorption of heat beyond the normal due to the melting of the glaciers. Heat is thus reflected in low amounts and absorbed in high amounts by sea and oceans, thus further increasing the temperature. The positive and negative aspects of technology. We must bear in mind that even though technology has emancipated itself into semi-independent cognitive discipline, it still has many links with science. That is to say, science and technology are intimately related to the extent that you can hardly talk of the one without the other. This idea has led to a blending or hybridization of science and technology into what is now known as technoscience. That said, it is irrational to hold that all technology is evil or neutral. Some technologies are inherently good and perhaps neutral, while others are inherently evil and non-neutral. How do we maintain a balance between this inherent goodness and evilness? Since technology, according to Heidegger, enframes us and deprives us a nature of essence, some scholars have interpreted Heidegger as suggesting a retreat to a non-technological past. Is this possible? There is no gainsaying that modern society is constituted or shaped in various ways through technological systems and networks. For instance, human experiences such as birthing babies, education, exercising, citizenship, combating sickness and diseases, going to work, and so on, are all mediated by technology. Given this inevitable tangle of technology with society, Thomas Miser has argued that there is no way of retreating or responsibly escaping this condition of modernity. Despite these positives, technology cuts deeply with its other edge and endangers humanity, the environment, and all of nature. Our inescapability forms the enfranchisement and, according to Marx, alienation of technology suggests that we must seek ways of confronting it, that is technology, constructively. We need not rebel against all technology because as humans we have wisdom and free will to choose between which technology to use and which to rebel against. This calls for a more responsible use of technology by consumers and, most importantly, a more responsible creation of technologies by engineers and managers who cannot run away from the fact that they are morally responsible to humanity. These and many other related issues should not escape the critical gaze of the philosopher of technology. Is technology more helpful than harmful? Study session summary. In this study session, you learned the impact of technology on the environment. In spite of the many positive implications of technology on the society, it has also brought some adverse effects such as air pollution and global warming. We finally discussed that technology has come to stay and that its emergence issues necessitate responsibility for sustainable development. We have come to the end of Fee 304 and study session 8. Thank you very much for listening.